So as the SD-WAN environment helped you, Jason, and in what way has it? For this particular situation in having this distributed workforce now, well, you always had a distributed workforce, but now it's distributed times 10. How is it the SD-WAN helped you?
Well, it's helped us because we're already used to consumer grade circuits. So we're used to doing link aggregation, bandwidth bonding. So we're very used to how that works. What we're saying to ourselves now is, hey, what we've learned in this process is what we really need to do is harden our endpoints 100%. So the endpoint is where all the information is, where all the data is, where all the nuggets are that the bad actors want. So if we can harden our endpoint 100%, like today, you've got all of your workforce working from their house or at I'd say a Starbucks if you can't go there anymore. Maybe they're camped out at their library and they're in the car using the library's Wi-Fi. But you've dispersed this workforce, and we've always been concerned about how do I harden my network. I'm saying, why do you care about the network at this point? Harden the endpoint 100% because that's where the nuggets are, and throw everything else away. Why do you even care about the network? So get everything off the network, get into a SaaS-based or a private infrastructure, harden your endpoints, and just treat it like it's a internet connection at a person's house. And you can eliminate cost, complexity, and all of these other things. And we're learning that during this experiment.
Your thoughts, Jim? I saw you you put your finger up like you were.
I love the way he thinks. He's bold. He makes those moves. He evaluates technology and says, not good enough. I got to get something else. And he pushes the industry, he pushes vendors, and he makes things happen. So I appreciate that.
I think it's worthy going down this path of endpoints because it's as a security vendor, we're actually, we've been pushing that too, but it's hard. It's hard to get people to think about endpoints because we think about this as an endpoint, and it is. This machine I'm using is an endpoint, but all the assets in Azure, AWS are endpoints, and you've got still got some legacy stuff a lot of people still have a lot of legacy equipment at headquarters. That's an endpoint. And so it confuses people because the complexity is, and so you make that statement, Jason, but what do you mean behind it? Like, what do you mean as far as securing that's the only thing you should be focused on?
Well, if it doesn't have data on it worth getting, it's not worth the time of the bad actor, right? So the only purpose of hacking a router or a firewall is to get through it, to get to something that's got information. And these devices, right, they're what hold all of our information. So if we can harden those devices so that they're 100% secure with technologies and other things, and then we segment those environments where I have legacy equipment. So let's say, I'm talking to another CIO and they said, I got this data center, it's got all this legacy equipment on it. I can't just put it in the SaaS environment. I'd challenge them. Well, you could still do something, whether that something is moving it to Azure, moving it to AWS, harden that infrastructure, get it off your environment, or segment your local environment so that these assets can't talk to those assets. Yeah. And so you've isolated each one of them and then treat them as their own little pockets. And then who cares about the network? Just treat it like it's someone's house. All I need is 100% inbound and outbound, and I don't worry about anything else.